ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Justin Masterson Show. I am your host, Justin Masterson. Glad you're here, but it's not just me. I got my guy hanging out next to me. Oh, and we're in the same scene this time, Mr. Matthew Zappasodi.
What's up, party people?
Oh, not a whole lot. We're just hanging out. We've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've just been hanging today. It's been a while.
It has been. We were able to spend a little time together yesterday also, just for a little lunch and whatnot. But
people really don't know what we do, and we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yes, we are. I don't even know what we really do. We do what we end up doing is a lot of things. Is we impact lots of lives and we help out people. I feel like we're very much consulting, even though we technically you do nonprofit and you're overseeing that. I'd still think we have so many different things that we engage with.
Yeah, it's fun though. Keeps it a little variety.
It does. Appreciate you guys watching. Actually, I'm going to hate on my church a little bit. The church that I attend, I won't say the name of it, but I could tell within the last, month or so, that they're trying to make a bigger push to whoever's watching online, because for the year and a half we've been there, they never really said much other than like, oh, thanks for being here. Glad you're online. But now they go out of their way, like, oh, for those of you who are online, thanks for attending. We're glad that you're with us. Why don't you go ahead and leave something in the chat or all this type of stuff? And it just kind of makes me laugh because I'm like, they're not here. But, I mean, for some people, if you want to watch it, great. It's cool. But you're not there.
I don't know
if I want to be there either.
I do need some more subscribers on our channel. So
if
you guys could share our page so we can keep doing this.
Yeah. And yes, the content does not come out all the time because the last 3 or 4 weeks, I don't know what it is. I get lost in whatever I'm doing. Maybe I don't like coming down here all the way to the studio. Well, maybe I need a studio in my house, and then I can just pop on. I don't know, Zappo.
Well, we could do that too. We could have you in your studio at your house, and then I could have a studio, and then we just studio in together studios.
I think that. I like that. I mean, this is kind of nice right now.
We can here hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice. But
we try to do these on Tuesday, and then we try to make it Taco Tuesday.
Which tacos are so.
I hope we have time for today.
I think we will. We're not gonna be too long. But I will say this: we're just coming off of Veterans Day. It would hopefully have been yesterday when I'm popping this on, and I appreciate everyone who served. We got my guy Joey, Bella's dad Joey, who served in the Army, all his little buddies, appreciate that. We got my guy Aaron Sunheimer, appreciate him, and countless others. Can't forget Nick Okerman out there in LA, Hollywood, doing his thing. Yeah, none of you guys are listening, and it's okay. Maybe you could pop on, but I appreciate all that you've done for this. You got...
Oh yeah, I just went to a wedding for one. Drew Milliner, congrats on the marriage, and Coast Guard, and Jeff Larkin, and about 50 other Fight Club guys. That shout out to Ryan Stevenson and so many more. Big. What is Veterans Day, Justin? I mean, I assume that there's a setup here.
Well, the setup is that we're appreciative and thankful. Yes. Of course, yes. There is I think we talked about it, at some point in time, but it doesn't matter. People always get confused. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day for those who served and are no longer with us. Veterans Day for those who served and are still here with us, hanging out. But my daughter, I've disappointed the world of the military because my daughter last night was like, Dad, what's Veterans Day? And so I explained it. She's like, oh, I thought it was for vets, like the animal doctors.
Oh, like veterinarians?
Yes. Which she has an idea right now of maybe wanting to be a vet. So that would totally fit in the scheme of things of what she's trying to do. So
there might be a Veterans Day,
a Veterinarian's Day.
somebody who knows, you can chime in and let us know. We are thankful for them as well. They keep our rabbits and dogs and cats and
no dogs for me anymore.
Do you have gerbils?
We got the guinea pigs. Actually, we just lost a guinea pig.
Oh, sorry about that.
We still got one left, and it's okay. It happens. They don't live forever.
Hey, go for rabbits. We're in the.
We had a rabbit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And you know why we got rid of it? Because it liked Meryl. Like a lot. Like too much. Like it was a boy rabbit that would just always go and try and hump her leg.
Yeah.
it was very uncomfortable for her. She didn't like it. And so we got rid of that.
We got ours fixed, and I think it cost way more to the vet to get them fixed than it did to buy the rabbit, but whatever. So is life.
Well, it's all part of it, right?
It is all part of it.
It is all part of it. And for today's,
it's all part of it. Brought to you by the Justin Masterson Show. Justin Masterson.
I actually put some videos together. We'll see how this all works out. So if it comes together the way that I'm hoping, then we'll be able to watch it and see what happens from there.
He's clicking buttons. Look out.
I am clicking buttons, but that's just so they have no clue what's happening. But here we go. We can see it. Here's a video that actually we took.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, you haven't seen this yet. I've seen it. So you're
recording. This is a homemade.
This is homemade.
Okay.
We're at Culver's right now, and if you ever been to Culver's, you drive in. And then they take you order, and then you go to the window to pay. Well, sometimes to the window to pay. Sometimes you don't have to go to the window, and you go to one of the spots. It's like, go in spot 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, whichever one, and go and
pull over and go up to the spot.
And get into the spot. They're like parking spots.
Okay.
Doesn't seem that difficult.
Yeah.
But let's see. As I think we got Meryl here as she's getting out of the vehicle.
Oh.
Because we are. We're sitting there at Culver's, and I'm just amazed by maybe the vehicles that are around us. And so the one on the right, doing okay. But what in the world is going on over here?
Is that a truck?
So we got an SUV that is not in the spot. Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. We're not in the spot. So then we have this one. So here's us. Looking great. Here's them, not in their spot, a little too far. But in front of them,
they're in the driveway.
They're in the driveway.
Like you can't even go around them.
No, you wouldn't be able to go around them if they were doing that. Like, what in the world is going on there? And that's.
So she got out to document it.
Well, yeah, because we talk often about how people are not very good drivers.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, babe, like we need to do this and put this on the show. And so she does. I mean, just look at like what in the world does somebody think? This is worse than someone coming to a red light and then they pull out, but they don't turn left.
Oh.
And so then they're past the line, but they just sit there.
Yeah, I mean, that's me.
Oh, my God. You're that guy?
No, I mean, it's yellow. I do it during the yellow phase.
Well, you get out there, and then you turn left.
Oh, yeah.
This is once it turns red, they sit there.
They're not clearing the lane.
No, they don't move. They just sit there, and I go, buddy, you went out into the lane. Why are you not going? Yeah. But that's okay, because it's not just at Culver's. I got another one.
Okay.
It's a little bit higher up on the top there, so make sure we can see that.
Okay.
So let me get you to the beginning of it. And nothing's moving. So that's very helpful for this video. Or not.
You're on the right video?
Yeah, I think I'm on the right video. I should be right there. I'm moving it up and down. Oh, there we go.
I don't think you're on the right one. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we got parking lot.
Yeah, so we got the parking lot, and you see, if we were doing the cool things that people are doing today, we'd say very curtsy, very demure. Everyone's parked. Yeah, I just see that things. The kids wouldn't know, but the kids aren't watching this anyway, so it doesn't matter. And so it's good.
Okay.
Park the way you're supposed to.
Okay, one guy's a little in there. What the heck? Okay.
To the right. See, look, those cars are very nice, very in a good spot. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's socially unacceptable.
Like, you can see the pathway that is darker than anything else.
Yeah.
And I get it, like, oh, maybe they're the first one out there, but seriously? Like,
well, if they were the first one out there, the other people would have lined up with them, so... I don't think they were the first one out there.
I don't think that they were the first one out there. I mean, is this just not ridiculous?
Yeah, that's bad.
I mean,
you should have parked him in, even though you can't because he could still get out. But
yeah, well,
sometimes I'm that guy who will double park you in just to prove a point that your parking spot stunk.
I mean, without fail, I would think about that. Except we weren't.
Yeah,
I don't even know where we're parked at. I think we are parked. Actually,
you're in line with the normal people.
I think we are. Yeah, we're in line. It might be our SUV. Actually, I think we might maybe on the edge. We might be behind, over where that bus is about to be moving right now. But like, seriously, I just don't. Guys just in his or girl is in their own world, just wanting to park in the middle of everything.
Keep those up. I like that. A little bit of. Now I'll start looking for some.
I mean, really, it's because
it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
I mean, ultimately, she was just in town. I did not go to it.
Hey, turns out that that we missed an opportunity not to go see her and all that cool stuff.
Should we had her on the show?
Oh, yeah, she would definitely come on the show. Missed an opportunity there too. You can go. Like it's not volunteer, it's pay, but you can go work the merch tables and get paid.
Oh.
And so I saw a friend and I was like, you have a big coffee there. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I was like, what's up? She's like, I was just working 3 days in a row, actually 4 days, because they do a pre-day and then the 3 days of the Swifties. Doing the merch. And I'm like, what? You work for Taylor Swift's merchant? No, you just like go to your stadium, your local stadium, and you sell merch for the bands that are coming in town or whatever. And she's like, the amount of money that comes in on the Swiftie merch.
Oh, wow.
You think the tickets are expensive? Like, oh my. So anyway, she said you can go and make a bunch of money. So we missed out, Jay. Next time we
did miss out.
We could wear our merch shirts.
Yeah.
And then sell her merch. That doesn't make sense, but.
Well, but I mean, on that, if you're looking to get some merch, if you don't want the face, people love the idea of the face, but don't always want to wear the face. But it's all part of it, as we just talked about, is forever present. Actually, my wife has been more and more going like, every day I'm starting to understand more and more of how that phrase makes sense and calms me down and keeps me ready to go. When someone does this, I'm like, it's all part of it. And I'm like, yes, that's the whole idea. So you can go to thejustinmastersonshow.live, and it should take you directly to the website to purchase shirts.
It's on somebody else's merch sales site that we operate our Fight Club out of, but promise it's safe. Add a shirt, we'll ship it to you.
Yeah, we'll get it to you eventually. If they're all in stock, but they may not all be in stock.
That's right.
But we will get them as quick as we can and get them to you, and appreciate, again, everyone hanging out and watching and enjoying this. And shout out to my cousin Aaron. We were just talking not too long ago. He says he likes to listen to the show, and I know he's hanging out in Colorado, which you might enjoy the show today, Aaron, because we're gonna talk. My wife and I. How many years have you been married, Mr.
Like 2 less than you, so I think I'm at 15.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're at 15. We just celebrated.
Oh, that's right.
17 years.
Yeah.
17 years of marriage, which got me thinking. I'm like, you know what? I don't have a guest. I like guests sometimes, but then sometimes I don't, and it's fun to hear and talk. But I don't know. I'm just going to talk about what was kind of been on my heart a little bit. I'm not necessarily pushing this book, but we got this book, The 5 Habits of Joy-Filled Marriages.
4.
4?
I don't know. It looks like they're holding up 4.
It is 4. The 4 habits. See, That's why
there's one the secret one.
Yeah,
that Justin's going to share. There's 4 in the book.
4 in the book.
1 in his heart.
Well, and this again, love talks of handling your emotions and thoughts and whatnot, and it's just not that. The first bit it talks about is this idea of a joy gap, and I can also take, like, when I'm thinking about these things, it makes me think of not just like a marriage relationship, but like friendships and things of that nature. There's a joy gap, which is the gap between moments of sharing joy together. And so when you're not spending all the time together, like, yeah, there's a gap of that, but like in the friendship world, like when you get back, you might remember the last moments you were together and you share joy. And so it feels like it wasn't that long when you're together. Now in marriage, you're spending more time together.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If not, that gap, the amount of time between sharing joy can grow and grow and grow and grow. And the more it grows between those joy times, the more opportunity there is for resentment to kind of come in, to frustrations to come in, to just have that feeling of I'm falling out of love. That kind of kicks in. And so they utilize this concept of plan. Like you plan before you do things, right? Do you feel more confident when you make a plan or prepare for something before you actually go about and do it?
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably lower on the scale of confidence and planning than others, but but no, I typically feel more comfortable in the environment based on my thoughts going into it.
Yeah, like if I actually told you what we were doing before we did a show, you might have a few things prepared. You might have a little bit of a game plan to try and add to what we were doing.
Well, John Cowie would say you don't plan, you've failed. What is that?
If you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
If you don't,
you
do plan.
Yeah.
But you're planning to fail.
So you're always planning. You just might be planning to fail. But no, of course, definitely helps.
So for this, I just wanted to hear your thoughts as we go through it, because they use a little acronym which they always use is PLAN.
Okay.
So PLAN, and the first one, and they would say that all marriages, good marriages, joy-filled marriages, good ones have all 4 of these traits that come in, whether they know it or not. Like we were just talking story.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we were just talking story, learning about how to tell stories and stuff like that. And we got to the point where it's like, oh, wow. Like sometimes we don't even purposely do this. It's just like ingrained in us, right?
Yeah, it's in your DNA.
Yeah, and when it comes. And so that first one of the plan is the P, which would be play together.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have common interests, then I mean, I guess you can have more contractual relationships, but that might not be producing a lot of joy, and that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, joy is the idea, which we didn't describe that. Joy is the idea that somebody is happy to be with you. Someone's happy to see you.
Yeah, so playing together, essential. I think for my personality type, it's pretty high on the list. So common interests, you don't have to actually play a game with me. You don't actually have to like take me for a walk like a dog or a board game like a kid, but I need interacting in a playful manner. So some people are like, hey, we do tennis together. That's our thing. Like we do pickleball. Like I actually don't need that from my spouse, but I need to go do that. But I need to play with you. I need to interact with you in a playful manner. So we actually wish I feel like you do this better than me. I don't know. But me and my wife wish we were more joking, like more humorous in our interactions. Some of that's a phase of life. Some of that's like we're tired. But like I've got some uncles that like every sentence is something funny. Like we're just always making fun of things and just loving life. And, you're just literally finding these little nuances in life to laugh about. And we're not there, but we do note, I'm like, I want to laugh more with you. I feel like you're more natural, maybe not, but I feel like you and Meryl are more laughing, interacting. Am I thinking that?
there are moments of it. We have gotten better and better at it.
Yeah.
I think as we've been able to handle the emotions and like not take offense on some things.
Yeah.
So then we have more confidence. So then and for me, it plays into the next one, but we're not there yet. But we're able to, the playfulness that comes. So, that same bit of, I can make a remark or she can say something, I can make fun of her, or I'll say something and she'll make fun of me and I don't have to defend it.
Yeah.
Like you just
own it,
wear it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes the fact that when we might defend it a little bit, like we'll say, like yesterday, she was making something about Nadia. I don't remember what it was. And so then I wasn't really defending Nadia, but I was more giving Meryl a hard time. And there could have been moments where she would have been reactive and upset, but she kind of like took it and laughed and then was like, haha, you kind of got me there.
Yeah.
And there was a different feel to it because we're able to be playful. Because sometimes in that sense, when people are trying to do it, they don't realize that they are jerks.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You're
or they have to, I'm just playing with you.
Sarcasm.
Yeah. And I'm high on sarcasm many times. But I've also learned to not just be like, well, that's just who I am. It's like, no, I can read the room.
That's all. It's also being lazy.
Yes, it is. Yeah. There are times when it is lazy. And I know some people are like, you should never be sarcastic. I'm like, well, I disagree with you.
Yeah. But I do like play as the first one. And if you are interested in that person, you're probably going to learn what they like to play. So games, hiking, swimming, CrossFit, pickleball, don't really care. We're physically interacting, we're playing, we're competing.
Yeah.
Cooking would be a great way to compete and play.
Cooking and playing and being around it in the kitchen. And I'd do the play as a little bit of the touch, just as you're coming around. That whole concept of it is just a little bit, which I know certain times it's the old adage of like, oh, guys are always trying to grab, and yes, but a rhythm, a thing that Marilyn and I feel like there's been these little bit of like passing by and not just like having to be intimate like type of touch, but just a simple like, oh, I brushed by.
Yes.
You. Oh,
we actually in our Fight Club program I challenge guys. Can you have X amount of touches that are non-sensual touches? So this would be a genuine, like normal hug. This would be like a hand on the shoulder, what you're talking about with like hand on the leg,
You can do it. It's okay.
Holding hands. Holding hands would count. Any type of like touching your face or just in general, but non-sensual. And I think for people who don't think about it, some people it's just normal. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
Like they're just big touchers and it's not a big deal. But I don't know, maybe it's a Midwest thing. My family out east, which I've got to represent Maryland today, a lot of touching, a lot of non-sensual touching and just really wrapping you up and just sitting really close and wanting skin on skin. And so I grew up with some of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, my cousin Ty, he'll kiss you right on the lips. He don't care.
I love it.
And he's a married man. Like, he don't care. So some of that is like, okay, or can we play and touch? And not be
right, which is perfect. That fits it, and so we're able to play together, and then as I kind of led to, we're able to listen for emotion, and so in that I feel like that's a read the room, that's understand where they're at when they're talking, because there's certain times, and even we've grown to be able to do this. Some people just say it to say it, where something's been relayed to me by wife or friend, and I'm like, I got thoughts and ideas, and it's like we're to a point where I'm not being a jerk, and I say, would you like me to figure out how to solve this, or do you just want me to keep on listening? Because I can keep on listening, or I can speak back on it. And she'll be like, I just need to say it out loud. Perfect. Keep talking. I'll keep listening. Mm-hmm. And to the other one was, so you have the play, and this is kind of the pay attention.
Okay.
Is how as I might do it. Because an example that I kind of read was, oh, Matt, you're at home and you're in the living room, so you're in the same spot, but you're on your computer, and then the TV's on. So maybe it's a game, maybe it's a movie in the background, maybe it's kids, whatever. But you're paying attention to that, and you're paying attention to this. She's talking, you're not looking, but you're doing this, and then she gets to the point where, are you even listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you look and you say exactly what she said to you and all those different things, and you're feeling good about yourself as you go back to this. All the while, you're not actually reading the room and looking at the fact of, like, there's some emotions that are going on there. Like, can you look at me when I'm talking? And I don't know how that fits in your world.
No, that's good. Definitely struggle, both of us. And I think it's Tucker Carlson has a rule: no phones in the bedroom, no distractions when communicating one-on-one with your spouse. Like, that's his rule. I think that you could implement that at the kitchen table. You can implement that in the living room. You can implement that wherever, the car. Maybe, when we travel together, it's like, hey, I'm right here. Like, literally 1 foot away from you. We don't look at each other because we're standing out the window, but it's like, hello. So wherever that is in your space, it could be a good challenge to, can you turn it off and actually eye to eye engage with them? It's interesting.
No, and that's a good point. Of course, I love it when it becomes a natural rhythm. Mm-hmm. So can you set... there's no phones in the bedrooms, or there's no this. But in reality, just trying to get the fact of, these are moments that we want to take advantage of. So how can I not just, as I've been telling my high schoolers in leadership council, like, I want you to be aware of, if leadership is simply put influence, like, pay attention to the opportunities that influence you have, or the opportunities that people have influence in your life. Whether that's a teacher, a coach, parent, mom and dad, older sister, younger brother, older brother, younger sister, all those different things. How do they utilize it? How do they wield that? So then we can say, oh, well, this is an opportunity. Like, I'm in the kitchen right now, and Meryl's talking, and I just made some food, and usually I go to my office and do some work, but right now she's talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stand here for a little bit longer and just kind of eat and drink right here. And then once we're kind of at a ending point, I'm like, all right, now I can move on to where I think that I need to go. Sacrificing where I got to get to and go at that point in time, trying to show a little bit of maturity. Because then what it helps, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling these kind of flow, like they're different but very similar. We're playing together, so we're around each other, and then now I'm listening. I'm around you. We may not be playing, but I'm listening for the emotions that might be there, which is not just helpful for wife, helpful for kids, helpful for friends, to see where they're at, what they're doing. And then we get to, in our plan, PLA, we're going to appreciate daily.
Okay.
Which is a rhythm on a personal sense you should get into, of appreciating the things that are on you, because that builds your joy capacity. But then within a relationship, and I've found this to work really great, because I think in the last couple of years I've done better. And I would say in the last week I've done a really good job. But not like, our brains always want to see the problems. That's our left side of our brain. Our problem-solving brain wants to always see here's an issue that we can solve. Where the right side is that fast track. It's relational, it sees those relationships, and it's run off of joy. So that's what we're sitting off of here. So when we can look at, oh man, she said this again. She went and did this. Oh, she's giving me trouble about that. Instead of like, oh man, I love it how she gets the stuff together for the kids every morning, and not just thinking of it, but then saying it. Hey, thanks for doing this. And then what I've done really great in the last week is, she's dressed up nice, and instead of just giving her a hard time, which she's been playful with, I go, man, babe, you look really good today. And she does. And she hasn't had some makeup on certain times. And I'm like, babe, you look really good, because I love it when she doesn't wear some makeup. So being able to appreciate that daily, which I think is difficult at times. Maybe not for you.
Well, I do have a little more extroverted gratitude appreciation bone. But you know where this goes for me is in my prayer life. And I think to naturally defend against my pessimistic or, that the creep that comes in of life, I've always practiced like thanking God for the little things. And,
which is great.
Yeah. And I never thought of it. You said it builds capacity. So I don't really freak out with bad news. I just really don't. Obviously you get the worst of the news and it's going to bother anyone, but like just normal everyday stuff, I really don't. And I think it's partly because I'm constantly trying to appreciate the little things so that there's more that can battle the big, the ugly, the nasty.
Yeah.
I think if I put that down to my kids who annoy me or who,
love you kids,
are bothering me at that moment, it's like, man, I just wanted some peace and quiet, or like, wow, one more expense I wasn't expecting. I think if I put it down to the people, though, I could probably be a lot better when we're talking about the relationship, because we all, I think we all kind of hold a scorecard.
Many people do.
And if I could just be appreciative of the person and of what they do in the little things, like I'm appreciative of clean water. Like, I don't know, it's just one example, but like maybe I could just tangibly put that into relationally. So I don't know if this is actually a counseling session for me, but you asked my opinion of what I think.
This is what
and I'm going deep today. Okay. So just bear with me. I think I could be better at appreciating the little things in people. That's what I think I could do.
I think that's a perfect response.
Okay.
I mean, what better way than now to get in depth with it? Because that is what it is. It's when I think when you're dealing with some people, it's very easy outside the family. Kids become difficult, and a lot of times the wife becomes extra difficult because the ins, the outs, the goods, the bads. And when you have that, that they have the potential to give that back to you. And to your point, I think the problem with the majority of friendships, relationships, is people do keep scorecards. I've done this, and so they should do this. It's about time for that. It's like, yeah, you did enough things for me, Zappo. It's, Justin, it's about time you did something for me. And now, when we're trying to outdo each other and we're just going about our business, it's like, well, I do nice, not because of that. It's just like, well, here's an opportunity where I can do it. There is, maybe you might feel in debt on your own, but it's best when the other person doesn't make you feel like you owe them a debt, which that is the way it is a lot of times. So when we can slash those, because Meryl and I were just talking about this not too long ago, and she's gotten better about taking away that scorecard. And trying to get rid of it, which is difficult. Like that's a mental game, is you're getting real with it. And I said, yes. And the hard part is us as believers. I said, if that's your mindset when it comes person to person, I said, well, it's no wonder you think about that with God. And so then you're going to think about like, oh, I have to do more good things so then God will love me more. And if I didn't finish this or do that, well, then he's not going to love me as much. So I got to do something else to make up for it so that I feel loved, rather than working out of the fact that, like, dude, I know Zappo loves me. And so I try and do things for him whenever I can. And there's certain times when I don't, or should have, or could have, and I didn't. But I'm not like losing sleep over like, oh, now he hates me. It's like, no, I'm doing this out of the love, not so that will try and, if I would have come over and taken the kids or done this or that, like, oh, he would appreciate me more. And then he'll do something really nice for me. And then when he doesn't do something nice for me, I'm like, what? I've done all this for you and you've done nothing for me. And that's when we get the fist shaking at God, or the person next to us, or the neighbors like, you know what? I'm not doing anything nice for them anymore. They don't appreciate it. They don't care about it. And we got to the fact, like with Meryl, it's like, hey, if you're going to do it, don't do it because you want praise from somebody. Do it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you receive praise, awesome. That will just boost you up, make you feel great. Like I know you can appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, don't do it. Don't sign up for it.
That's good.
And then the last one, which flows in our plan, and it comes all together, and I've almost hinted at it a couple times, and where I'm going is we play together, we listen for the emotions, we appreciate daily, and then we nurture a rhythm. So we adjust the ways that we might do some things in order to have these things more naturally occur. And it's like, well, I always go over here. Well, maybe don't go over there at this point. Maybe you know this person is going to be here at this point in time. So you adjust it. My wife likes to go to bed super early. So if I can be home at a certain time or be around, or I know at 6 o'clock she's probably going to be sitting on the couch. And so is it great to be in there and be on the couch near her? May not boost her as much, maybe more for me, but she still probably appreciates the fact that we're around, we're together, we're seeing each other. Because she'll be like, oh, we're all in the same room. I don't know. That can be difficult because you can get lost in work. You can get lost in all different types of things.
Yeah.
And you can be like, we never spend time together. Well, and that could be, putting date nights in and other things like that, which we never do. But
what?
We don't have date nights.
Well,
she's asleep.
Well, you can do day dates.
We do that sometimes. We go on some walks.
They're just not the stereotypical date.
No.
Okay. So this is all about finding joy, and I can nurture the rhythm. If you're going to tell me that there's something good for me and I just need to do it more often, like that makes a lot of sense. So I'm down with this adjusting, but I like actually how this is later. So when you build a habit,
you're speaking my language, friend. Come on.
There's some. Can you easily break a habit? Yes, we all know that you can. But with a rhythm, it is less likely that I'm going to get really frustrated because a rhythm is just part of my life. A habit, I have to go out of my way and like really try to make this a part of my life. I have to try to like insert it in. But if I talk about a natural rhythm that I'm introducing, okay, well, I like to work out, but my schedule and the way my brain works and when I want to work out versus when I do work out, it's very abnormal. And so when I don't work out, instead of getting super frustrated, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick that up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow there's a gap at 2. Like normal people might not be able to go work out at 2, but I'm just going to make it up. I'm just going to skip one and do the other.
Right.
Because it's just part of my rhythm. I don't get frustrated that I broke a habit. So if that's you and you're like, I try to love well and play together and listen to my partner or kids, but I'm frustrated that it's not working. Guess what? We don't all live by this time clock. Like your time isn't my time.
It's not working when I want it to work.
Yeah. So you might need to give that person some street cred and like actually listen to them for longer than a day or a week. Like what if in like a month your wife or your kid notice like you don't pick up the phone anymore when we're talking? Like, yeah, I've actually been doing that for like 60 days. You just now noticed. But you see how like it took a while for that rhythm to really catch up.
Yeah. And for them, and that actually hits on one thing, which is kind of difficult in the whole process of sometimes it might feel like one person is putting the effort in.
Yeah.
And the other person isn't, which makes it hard to appreciate daily. And I think for us men, if your wife, significant other, whatever, is the one that's like you're putting in the effort and you feel like you know your scorecard, you're writing in it a little bit and you're not getting anything in return, you want to go to that point of like, forget this, why would I even do this? Because they don't even care, or they're not changing anything. And it's like, man, when you're on that journey of trying to be a little bit more mature, change a rhythm, or even create new habits, like that's why it's so difficult. Because you get at that first point where you feel like, oh, I'm doing good, but then no one's giving you the credit that you feel like you should be due. And that's the point where you go like, oh, what am I doing this for? Am I doing it just for me to continue to gain something better in the sense of like instant gratification? Or am I doing it for us because I know that when I'm in a better spot of wanting to play together, wanting to listen to the emotions that might be there, wanting to appreciate and wanting to change my rhythms to nurture them to be with there, then all of a sudden, like, they may not know it, but I'm growing myself, my mentality, my joy capacity, and eventually, somehow, some way, that's going to get onto that other person. And they may not notice it, may take a long while, but eventually they're going to see like, oh, there's something here. And what is kind of alluding to is as men, we feel like, oh, well, you just let her walk all over you, do whatever she wants. And it's like, it's not exactly it. It's, you know, as we're motivating and we're navigating this together, how can I lovingly come alongside? You know, Jesus didn't always slap everyone in the face and say, hey, listen up, here we go. I mean, he walked by some guys for 3 years, and one of them didn't really get it. I mean, all of them kind of had some trouble with getting it, and they were with the dude, one of the best teachers in the world. So when we think back on that, it's like, hey, you know, take a deep breath, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not always the most fun when you're the first one. We were talking about that and some other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the first one in can be difficult.
Yeah. Life's a big, giant web, all connected. You're really speaking language. I wish they could just like come with us in like a dash cam and just like whether one of those chest Facebook cameras and they just like follow us around and follow you around. I mean, nobody cares what I'm doing, but
no, I think they'd appreciate
or
you.
I wear the camera and follow you around, and then they'd be following you around.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And then that helps us to, as we try to do in our lives with each other, nurture rhythms to give us more opportunities to play together.
There we go.
I mean, that's really it. And then, you know, try and appreciate and listen for the emotion. I mean, that's kind of, you know, how it can fit in relationships outside of marriage too. Like it's like, oh, if this really matters, okay, then how can I, you know, try and adjust and nurture without sacrificing other things that are maybe more important, no offense, to make it still work in the nature of it. So it's...
Yeah. So you've been married 17, but technically I've known you longer. So deal with it, Merrill.
On that note, hey, appreciate you all listening, hanging out with us for a little while. On behalf of Fair Warrior, which puts on Fight Club, which we're about the end of the round for our fall session, which was a good time. Zappa is a big part of that. And for my boys over at Wayfinders, trying to help people activate their purpose. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.
The Justin Masterson Show .live for your next t-shirt.
Moto.